What's going on? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Gen X Army Vet here with a video from YouTube. As you read in the title and you can see in the thumbnail, there are two soldiers from, I believe, the Illinois National Guard that are refusing to obey the POTUS's orders to assist ICE with helping to contain the insurrections that's going on, or the peaceful protesting going on over in Chicago. They say it's unethical and immoral, but everything that he's saying that he wants them to do actually goes into the Insurrection Act of 1807. So without further ado, let's get into the video.
We have the right to use the National Guard to put out trouble.
500 members of the Texas and Illinois National Guard are on standby in Chicago, ordered to protect federal immigration enforcement agents and facilities.
I think it's a slow normalization of the use of the military in American cities.
But active duty Illinois Guardsman Captain Dylan Blaha and Staff Sergeant Demi Palachek say this is not what they signed up for.
I was once, her rank back in the day before I got promoted. And this dude's a captain. He's an O3. She's an E6. He gives orders. He's a company commander. He can lead a company of troops. And he's pushing down he's going against the orders, which they can actually go to jail for. Because what he's saying is based on, like I said, the Insurrection Act of 1807.
And it's an order they're willing to defy. Palachek's mother is originally from Mexico.
That's
if you
why
were activated to the Chicago mission, would you
That's right there. Because her mother's here illegally. And so she's at a conflict. But if you're an American citizen, well, technically she's not, because her mother came here illegally and had her. So therefore she's illegal by default. But she serves in the military trying to get her citizen status. It wouldn't matter. So looking at it that way, but even then, you put all that aside. You're in the military. Say we go against, say, Mexico in a fight. Yeah, but you're of Mexican descent. You can't, I want to side with Mexico because that's where my people are from. No, you're an American citizen. You have a duty and obligation to your country, which is America. So she's thinking she's on the right side of this when she's actually wrong. And she's going to lose all her privileges as far as being a military member, all that hard work she done to be in the National Guard. She's going to lose all that. Same thing as a captain. It's going to affect him even harder because he's an active duty captain. And I don't understand, ICE, they're actually performing their duties within accordance of the law. People are here illegally. So we have to push them out the country, and yet they're defying that.
defy orders?
Absolutely. I would definitely say no.
Tell me why.
Dumbass.
I mean, I'm not going to go against my community members, my family, and my culture, my neighbors.
Your culture, your community is America now. If you're going to be here, you have to abide by what's here. So if you don't like it, go back to Mexico. And we say, why they don't want to? Because they know life's better here. I know it seems harsh when I'm saying hot takes, blah, blah, blah. Come at me in comments. You're going to anyway. But that's a fact. They don't want to go there. They don't want to go back to Mexico, but they want to come over here, raise their flags. And I got it. It's not just Mexico. So don't come at me, it's not just Mexico. Yeah, I know that. There's a lot of people coming from all over the world trying to come to the States. But in this particular situation, somebody who's of Mexican descent. So
The two are running for office as Democrats, Palachek for state representative and Blaha for Congress. Both spoke to us as civilians, but say speaking out risks consequences.
I already have been disciplined a couple times. They actually suspended my security clearance.
Serving in the National Guard can offer a pathway to citizenship. CBS News has learned nearly 2% of Illinois Air and Army National Guard are not U.S. citizens. Roughly 200 current members hold green cards.
They are in panic, because they're choosing if they stay on the right side of history and they stand up for their community, their family, their culture, or they lose everything because of.
That's the thing, though. You stand up. You swore an oath to come into the military against enemies, foreign and domestic. We know that speech. But these protesters are violating laws to protect people that came to the country that violated laws. So what side of the history? You said that's the right side of history? You couldn't be more wrong. Because, like, hold on, just to show you here, the Insurrection Act of 1807 is a United States federal law that empowers the president to deploy military forces to suppress insurrections and enforce laws during civil disorder. You know, ICE is doing their job before they started attacking. So, because ICE is pulling people off streets because no one wants to give them assistance. And they found out that those guys here illegally. You have civilians, U.S. civilians and citizens are attacking the ICE guys with with rocks, everything. They're destroying their cars. They're actually trying to pull the people back. They're impeding their operations. That's an insurrection act. So how are you trying to side with that? That's going against federal laws. So they're not thinking clearly on this. They're going to screw themselves over. He says the Insurrection Act of 1807 allows the President of the United States to deploy the military and federalized National Guard troops to suppress insurrections, domestic violence, unlawful combinations that obstruct the enforcement of federal laws. That's what ICE is doing. Same thing as Border Patrol. They're enforcing federal laws, the legal immigration. How can you argue against that, though? I'm not understanding this. So people, they're willing to risk everything that they have just for somebody who's here illegally, that's going to go back to their country, do their own thing, to come back over here illegally again in a couple of days or a month from the day they get back over there. I don't see how people are this stupid. Whatever.
It'll stop the process completely.
Palachek and Blaha say they're trained for military combat, not to police city streets.
You are both members of the National Guard. You don't want to see your fellow soldiers in your city.
National Guard, meaning guarding our nation. That's part of guarding our nation.
I think a lot of Americans would be shocked to hear that.
I mean, I wish that Americans would talk to other National Guard members, because all of my soldiers do not want to be activated and are scared, and their families are in hiding.
Are you surprised more people haven't spoken out?
That means all of her soldiers have family members that are illegal. So they're all part of this whole criminal organization. If you want to look at it that way, coming over here illegally, you committed a crime to be here in the States. People don't read the Constitution. People don't read our laws. It's like, how are you gonna, you can't pull me over for speeding, but you're committing a crime. Well, I was just driving at an excessive rate, but I wasn't speeding. Like, it's the same thing. You come over here to the States illegally, and they don't want to, wait in line like everybody else. You got people who drive off the side of the median, go around. That's illegal. That's an illegal maneuver. It's there. It's available. Same thing. So what? So I don't understand how these grown adults. This dude's a captain. She's a staff sergeant. She can control a squad or a platoon depending on her promotable status.
I am a little surprised, but after speaking out, I understand why no one wants to do it.
Because you're breaking a fucking law. It's going against the UCMJ, dumbass. That's why.
No one wants to do it.
We were trained to stand up for what we believe in and stand up for the American people, the Constitution. It's crazy.
That's the thing, because they're National Guard, so they don't have to deal with this shit on a daily basis like somebody who's actually active duty military does. I'll give them a pass on ignorance. But I would assume that they've read up on some laws since the president's been in office to understand that, okay, yeah, I shouldn't be able to do this. Just because they have feelings, because they have family members, they don't want to piss off their family members because they're here illegally. That's decisions they made prior to you. So it sucks, but you got to know when to fight your battles, and this isn't the time to try to fight a battle.
It's crazy because I figured other people would speak out right now, and it's crazy to think, oh, wow, it needs
crazy
to be us because nobody else is.
The Pentagon declined comment. Nicole Skanga, CBS News, Chicago.
They're definitely down on that hill because, again, like I said, the president can enact the Insurrection Act when there's threats. ICE should try and do their job, their federal job, that the president is mandating. And even before even president got put in office, it's still a law. And coming to the U.S. is breaking the law, especially if you're doing it illegally. And they just don't. Again, it's funny. It's not funny, but to people who think that, oh well, no one else wants to do it, so I guess we got to do it. That's one fucking dumbass hill to die on. But whatever. That's my thoughts. That's my opinion. Let me know your thoughts and comment down below. How do you feel about this? Especially those who are in the military, who served, who know what the job is like. Doesn't matter. Active duty, reserve, National Guard. Let me know. Let's talk about it. Let's get the conversation started. Like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Give me a thumbs up. Help a brother out. Try to get to 4,000 for the end of the year. And I'll catch you next video. Peace.